So, we are huge Monster High fans, obviously, which is why we decided to do this. The two of us and Claire, who will be joining us shortly, are the hosts of a Monster High readathon, which I actually put the link to for the Discord server down below, and we can talk about Monster High related things. That's not just, the readathon as well. And it's basically, we just come up with prompts every year, and then every October we try to read books that fit the prompts of the characters we chose. I think we already chose the character. We still need to work on the prompts.
Yeah.
I don't think we started the prompts yet.
I'm I'm needing inspiration, I think, for the prompts this year. But I really like the characters they've chosen, and I'm excited.
Who did we choose again? I'm trying to remember.
We chose, I think, Spectra, who I'm doing a closet cosplay of today.
Nice. I think we chose Operetta too.
Operetta, yeah, and then Holtide and Jackson Jekyll, and then Cupid. Cupid was the final one that we chose. So yeah, lots of cool characters. I'm excited for the Cupid one too, because I think she's a crossover character with Ever After High, isn't she?
Yeah.
So it would be kind of cool if we could somehow work that into one of the prompts, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know too much about Ever After High, so I'm gonna kind of count on you and Claire to.
I've seen all of it, and I do like it. I don't like it as much as Monster High, obviously, but
yeah. I think Claire has either read them or seen the show or something. So yeah, between the two of you, I'm sure you can come up with something cool. But yeah.
So yeah, I put the Discord server for the Monster High readathon down below for anyone who wants to join. Because they're always so much fun. We always have so much fun in October.
Yes. Yeah, last year was so much fun. We do weekly reading sprints. We did a lifestyle challenge. I think, we did the lifestyle challenge of
that was fun.
Watch one of the movies, I think it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should definitely do. Yeah.
We should this time for our lifestyle challenge. We should do something similar, but also put a twist on it. Like watch one of the movies, but it has to be one of the movies that heavily features one of the characters we chose.
Yeah, it could be like watch
Haunted.
Yeah, that's the exact one I was thinking of for Spectra.
Yeah, Friday Night Frights is kind of heavily on Operetta as well.
Yeah, that's an Operetta one. And then Why the Ghouls Fall in Love, I think, is Cupid's.
Yes.
And then what's the one that I really like that has a lot of Jackson in it? It's the one with Halloween and they go into
yeah, I really like that one too.
I love that one. That one's my favorite one, honestly.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, we should totally do that as one of the lifestyle prompts. I also think it would be really cool, which is something that we've done as a host, but come up with your own Monster High original character. I think could be a really fun lifestyle prompt for this year. So maybe we should, do a few different ones to add to the bingo board. That would be, I think it would be really fun. And it's just for fun. If you can't do the lifestyle prompts, that's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just here to have fun and
people. You don't have to do them. It's just fun.
Other Monster High fans.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sounds really cool.
Yeah. And I think it would be really fun if for me particularly to do the video of the Ghoul It Yourself book around October.
Yes. Oh, I've been dying to see your video of that.
Yes, I'm still not done with it. I mostly work on it when I listen to audiobooks. So when I'm not listening to audiobooks, I don't really get much done with it.
Yeah.
But and some of them I skip over if I am stuck on the whatever the prompt is for that page. I'll skip it for now and stuff. And there are a couple things that is you and your ghoul friends get together and do. I figured this out, so I thought maybe I could ask you and Claire for some.
We could totally do that for one of our live shows too, if you wanted to.
Yeah, definitely.
Ghoul friend prompts, I guess I would call it, because you're hanging out with your ghoul friends. Yeah, that would be so much fun to do that.
Yeah, I mean. It's there's a whole bunch of different things. It's kind of hard to explain without getting an example, so I'll get to that.
Yeah, sure.
Cause I did the OC outfits. I told you guys about that.
Oh, I was so excited when you showed me the drawing of my OC, who is Esther, and like I recognized her right away. That I'm like, oh, that's my OC I designed.
Yeah, like and these props are so fun because they're kind of making it so you can be like in Monster High. Like this one is like with your ghoul friends make a list of theme ideas for because this was for like Dance of the Delightfully Dead.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we are hosting the Dance of the Delightfully Dead, so we had to come up with like theme ideas. And there's like so many like and so there was theme like that's like there's different sections. Like this section is for Dance of the Delightfully Dead, so we had to come up with theme ideas. Then we had to come up with a playlist of songs.
Oh, that's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of things like that, and so it's like we're in Monster High, you know, we get to do these activities that they get to do, and it's so much fun to actually work on it. But like I said, because I don't work on it all the time, it is taking me a little while, and I think this will be a cool thing to do on October to like do the flip through and be all Monster High about it.
Yeah, that sounds so cool. I'm so glad you got that book. It's so I'm like living through you, like doing that book. So
we have my mother is here.
Hi.
Haunted, yeah, that's one of her favorites, I think.
I loved Kiyomi in that movie, and she's like
Me
one
too,
of my
she's so
favorite
adorable.
like characters that doesn't really show up again ever after that. But yeah, she's like my favorite from that movie.
Yeah, definitely. I do really like Kiyomi. She was just so cute, and I love that she like has a canon crush on Draculaura.
She literally does have a crush on Draculaura.
Like she could have spied on anybody, but she chose to spy on Draculaura. And then when Draculaura was around, her face would get all flustered. It was also adorable.
Honestly, it was like not subtle at all.
And if Claude didn't exist in this world, because I am a huge Draculaura and Claude shipper, I would probably ship them. Like I low key do ship them a little, but I just ship her with Claude more.
I mean, I definitely ship them that like Kiyomi definitely has a crush on Draculaura. Whether or not Draculaura returns those feelings, I'm not so sure about it. But like, I do genuinely think that Kiyomi is crushing on her.
Definitely. Favorite Monster High animated movie is 13 Wishes, but I really like the live action. Yeah, I really enjoyed the live action too.
I like Halloween as a character a lot, so I like that she kind of was the main character of 13 Wishes. I also loved the plot where like Cleo becomes a nobody, but like Dee still has a crush on her.
That was
like so romantic, honestly.
Like that they're soulmates. Like he didn't even remember her, but he still liked her.
Yeah, honestly, they're like genuinely like my favorite Monster High couple. I didn't like that the live action broke them up. I was really upset about that. But I did like the live action, and also like I really like Cleo's character in the live action too. I feel like they kind of did similar kind of character development with her that they did in like the first few TV show or the webisodes where, you know, Cleo's first introduced and she's kind of like the mean girl, but then she becomes friends with him.
Well, yeah, that exactly. Like I kind of liked that because, like, at first she did seem to be the mean girl, even though later on Twilight became the main mean girl. But she, but even later on when she is real, like there is this friend group and she is still this mean girl at times to like a lot of people. She just cares so much about Deuce and her cool friends, and it's like so sweet. It's like one of those things where it's like she's mean but she has a good heart, and I feel like live action did really well with that with her character.
They totally captured it without it feeling like, oh, it's so repetitive of this plot we already know. Like I think they actually like gave it pretty good life.
And they didn't try to force it either. It just felt natural because even though Cleo didn't seem to be this mean girl, you could also tell she had a good heart because in the end, when Claudine and Frankie called her and Draculaura was all hurt, she was with Laguna, and they genuinely wanted to go help her, even though she
Yeah.
doesn't even like them. She wanted to help them because she has a good heart in the end, which I really like.
Right. Yeah.
She didn't even have to be asked twice. Like, she saw the situation and she ran to go find Deuce. I just find that so sweet.
Yeah, I honestly really like that too about the live action.
Yeah, definitely. And the live action also made me like Frankie, because in the first generation, I actually didn't like them, but I love them in the live action. They're just so quirky, and
Mhm.
some of the things that come out of their mouth just makes me laugh. Like, they have no
Yeah.
filter, and they just say whatever comes to mind.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like both versions of Frankie, honestly. But yeah, I did like this iteration. I think like they kind of took like what Frankie's character is about and like updated it for, you know, like more I guess relevant to now. So yeah, I think they did such a good job with
Yeah, and I think Frankie is also the perfect character to be non-binary,
yeah.
because they are like have all these different body parts from other people, so it's just perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I feel like a lot of Frankie's character too is kind of like experimenting with like their existence, and so I feel
Yeah,
like they would be like, oh, like I'm not really sure if I'm a man or a woman yet, so I'm gonna be non-binary because I'm 14 days old or however old Frankie is supposed to be. They like why would they immediately assume that they're either or? And yeah, it feels so perfect for what their character's about.
definitely. Definitely. And Draculaura is still my favorite in this version. I just love how she has this cool attitude, and it's like she seems kind of cool at first, which is not Draculaura from the original. But I
Yeah.
like that you find out it's just because she is so afraid of, like, I have like it does. It's like feel like she's afraid to get close to anybody because they might
Mm,
discover a secret, and she's so afraid of her father finding out.
yeah.
So yeah, and I'm so excited for the sequel where Draculaura is going to be at the center. So that's going to be fun.
I definitely like the like Draculaura and then her dad like third plot together. I don't know if I like this iteration of Draculaura more than I like the original. I kind of like the original Draculaura better because she's so like fun and outgoing and sweet and cutesy. And then I don't know. I guess like I've only seen the live action. I haven't seen any of the TV show, the new TV show of Monster High. So I kind of don't know too much about her character yet. I feel like I need to see a little bit more before like
Well,
I
it's
can
kind.
decide.
Yeah, I get that. I've been watching live action. I'm a couple episodes behind because we haven't been able to pay for Hulu yet, so I
Yeah.
haven't been able to continue. But I plan to once we do. But I am really enjoying it. But it's weird because even though it's like the same storyline, same like character design for the live action, it also doesn't really connect to live action that much because like
Yeah.
um the first episode shows a different way of for Claudine to because in the first episode she doesn't actually even know she's part monster. She's like
Yeah.
part human, and then she finds out that her mom was a monster, a werewolf.
Oh. Oh, okay.
And
That's so
yeah,
different.
yeah, definitely. And Draculaura, she is still a witch, but in the second episode, I think it was, Claudine and Frankie discovered it, and at some point Laguna discovered it as well.
Yeah.
But they all kept her secret, and no one else knows. It's still a secret from her dad and stuff. And I gotta say, the series version, I am shipping Draculaura and Laguna. They had this one episode that's one of
Oh,
my favorite
really?
episodes, and it was so sweet. Like, I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't know if you care about that many spoilers, but
I want to watch it eventually, but like I don't have that like the Hulu extension thing that I need to be able to watch the episodes. So I don't know when I'm gonna be able to watch it, but like I do want to watch them.
well, I don't want to spoil anything for you. But there's just this one episode that's based around Draculaura and Laguna, and it so made me ship them a lot. Like, they
That's
were so cute.
interesting.
They had these really sweet scenes together, and I just fell in love with them. So yeah, but Claude and Howling does now exist in this universe,
Yeah.
so they end up coming up. So, Draculaura and Claude haven't really had many scenes yet together that I
Mhm.
have seen because, like I said, I am a couple episodes behind, and I think they end up having a couple scenes, but I'm not sure. But so I don't know if I'm gonna ship this version of them yet.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I'm shipping Draculaura and Laguna, but I might ship Draculaura and Claude if we get more of them. I don't know what's gonna end up being canon, but we shall see.
Right. Yeah.
But I know a lot of people ship Claudine and Frankie, and they are kind of cute.
That's also like a ship that I wouldn't have expected, but like, yeah, I haven't seen the show yet, so.
But in the live action version, I actually shipped Draculaura
Oh.
and Claudine. There was that one scene when Draculaura and Frankie went to find Claudine after she left, and Draculaura like put her hand on Claudine's, and they had like this intimate moment. It was so sweet and cute.
Yeah, actually, no, I do remember that. That was pretty cute. Yeah, and I feel like I did like, yeah, have that moment of like, there's totally a couple. Honestly, like, I don't know, like, I kind of had canon Draculaura in the live action to be a lesbian.
Yes.
And Claudine bisexual though. I mean, and not just because like she has a crush on Deuce. I just feel like, her whole thing is that like she's from both worlds, and so like where does she fit in? So like I feel like that's so like representative of like the bi experience of like, oh, you don't quite fit in with straight people and you don't quite fit in with gay people. You're kind of this like in between.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of my headcanon. I don't know if they're gonna actually go with it.
I could actually see that. I'm going to petition for her to be bisexual now.
Yeah, I totally think it's there.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of people headcanon her in Generation 1 being lesbian.
Yeah.
But I honestly always headcanon her as Arrow Ace. Maybe that's just me trying to project myself since we don't really have much representation. We have to try to just like headcanon these characters that have the characteristics. But I know she is only in high school, so like there are plenty of high schoolers that aren't that interested in dating at the time. I was one of them, but then again, I did discover later on to be Arrow Ace, so I would love to see that journey with Claudine for her to be like in high school, not having not dating anyone because she's just not interested, and then later on as an adult be like, this is why I wasn't interested.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel the same way about like, yeah, Gen 1 Claudine being asexual.
Yeah. But I can also see her being Arrow Ace lesbian like me, because I do see that if she does like someone in Generation 1, I do see it being a girl and not a boy. So,
yeah.
But back onto 13 Wishes, my second favorite character is actually Twyla. Mm-hmm. And I wish we got so much more of her. And I also ship Twyla and Howling. They're my favorite non-canon couple, okay?
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that shit too.
They are my favorite couple too. I talk about Cleo and Deuce.
Yeah. Honestly, the best.
Yes, they're pretty high on my list, but number one would be Draculaura and Claude.
For me, it's definitely Cleo and Deuce. They're my OG couple.
Yes. So yeah. I mean, I love Draculaura and Claude. Cleo and Deuce. Twyla and Howling, obviously, I just stated that. Mm-hmm. And then let's see. I do like Laguna and Gil. I found out that a lot of people hate them now.
I don't. She could do so much better than Gil.
I mean, I wouldn't say I love them, but I don't hate them either. But and then I love Spectra and Porter from Haunted.
Mm-hmm.
They were cute. Pharaoh and Caddy from
I love Pharaoh and Caddy. That's like, yeah, probably my favorites are like Cleo and Deuce, and then Pharaoh and Caddy. Those are like my top two that like I go nuts for. And I'm talking about like the canonical relationships, like,
yeah,
like those are the ones that I'm like, yeah, this is so good. Yeah, I like Draculaura and Claude, but I don't feel like the same that I do about like I feel like with like Cleo and Deuce, like time and time again throughout like the movies and the episodes, like their love just shines through for each other. So like for me, like that's what makes it so cute to me. And I don't know why, I just thought that Caddy and Pharaoh's relationship was so adorable in Boo York. It's just like, well, like he's like the like rapper, and she's a singer, and it just worked out so good, so perfectly. So
Yeah.
they just
Yeah, they're cute. And I also like the whole Spectra and Porter. They're probably one of my favorite couples, honestly. Like, I put them in top 3 material, honestly. And I just love how it's like they didn't really like each other, but at the same time, they had these underlying feelings for each other. It's kind of like a haters to lovers thing. And it's like they love to tease each other, but they also obviously had something for each other at the same time.
right.
And how they helped save all these ghosts, like, because they're just such an amazing duo. Like, their entire story is just so adorable, and I love it. So yeah, they are probably one of my favorites. But with Dracula and Claude, I feel like I just love their story. I love how in the webisodes is like Dracula never even thought of Claude that way until Frankie brought it up, because
Oh yeah, that's really cute.
Yeah, Claude is everything that Dracula was describing for the perfect boy, and then she started having feelings for him now that idea was in her head, and she started seeing him in a different way, and it did seem like he liked her at first, but you find out that's not true. And I just love how he defended her to Heath, like that was so sweet, and then they started like writing these secret letters, and how they were kind of forbidden because of Claudine.
Yeah.
And it was just so cute, and how Claude would like not like they were having lunch together, and Claude wasn't eating meat for Draculaura. Like, it's just so sweet. And then there's scenes in some of the movies just so sweet. Like, Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love is one of my favorite movies, and I just love how their love was more powerful than Valentine's spell, which shows that they are also soulmates like Cleo and Deuce.
Yeah.
Because if they weren't soulmates, it definitely wouldn't have worked like that.
Right.
And I just think it's so adorable, and I just love them so much.
Yeah, I think another couple I really like is Ghoulia and Slow-Mo.
They were cute.
I think they're just so perfect for each other. And like, I'm trying to remember what the webisode was that I think like Ghoulia had a crush on Slow-Mo and was trying to impress him, and like all like her friends were like helping her try to impress him, and like it wasn't working, but when she was like herself, that worked. I think was like
They tried to give her like this makeover, I think.
Yeah.
And I also like the episode where Slow-Mo didn't think he was smart enough for her.
Yeah, right?
They did something to make him too smart, but then Ghoulia didn't like that because she liked Slow-Mo how he was. So at the end, when they changed him back, she was happier with him. And that was cute.
I think their webisodes are so cute.
They're not one of my favorite, like you were saying, how Cleo and Deuce and Cat and Pharaoh just give you that feeling. Yeah. They aren't one of those for me, but they are definitely cute, and I do like them.
Mm-hmm.
I also liked Alfreda and Johnny.
I was thinking about them too. Cute. Yeah, they're really cute and so perfect for each other too.
So true. I do not like Frankie in the animated, but I loved in the live action. Yeah. I love Twyla. The fact that she is so happy with who she is and doesn't care what anyone else thinks is amazing to me, especially for a high school student.
Yeah,
definitely. Like, some of her scenes are some of my favorites. Like, I love some of the things she said to Howleen in 13 Wishes. Like, it doesn't matter if you're popular. The monsters that already that like them already. The monsters that matter already know how awesome you are.
Right.
That was awesome. And I liked in Fright's Camera Action. Yeah, that's the one when she's like, I can't just crush on a shadow I just saw on the silver screen. It's what's in it. Does, I'm trying to remember the exact line, but it's like, it's what inside that counts. You can't judge a bat by its wings. So yeah. And I love Twilight. I love how she just doesn't care to be popular. Like, Holly even tried to make her popular. She was like, no, I'm good. Like, I prefer the shadows. And it's just so sweet, because we don't see that very often, where they just don't where like a high school student doesn't care about being popular. I mean, I never cared to be popular, and I feel like it's very Like, how many people actually care to be popular? Like, is
Right.
that actually a thing, or is that just a thing on TV? Because I never experienced that.
I definitely don't think I wanted to like be popular. I mean, obviously I wanted like friends, like I wanted to be
Yeah.
liked, but like yeah, to be popular, that wasn't really my goal.
I
Uh,
had a small, tiny friend group, and that was good enough for me. Like, I
yeah,
really
like
didn't care.
to me it meant more that like the friends that I had, like I could trust, and that like I liked being around, you know what I mean? Like that was more
Yeah.
important to me than like having I don't know a lot of friends or something. Like
Yeah.
what is popularity to be
I
honest?
don't know.
But I think like your point about like you don't see that a lot in like high school shows, like that's such a good point. Like I feel like a lot of the times it's like, oh, like the main character is this unpopular girl and then like she goes through like this journey and like transforms and now like she's popular and she's dating like the popular guy and like well, what if she just learned to be happy, like with herself from the beginning, and she didn't have to have a popular boyfriend? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's so weird how that's the norm. But I guess like that is like I don't know, or at least what people think is the teenage dream is like, okay, like, oh, I'm unpopular, but like, maybe the popular boy will someday love me back and then I'll be popular or something. So it's gotta
Yeah.
come from somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't even think high schools are like that. Like, I remember my high school really having like this whole popular thing. Though it wasn't this big deal like it was in high school, but I do think there were popular people because my sister was one of them.
Oh, really?
Yes, she's a year younger than me, and so I was like in 11th grade, I think, and she was in 10th or something like that, or and same when I was in 12th grade, she was in 11th. It's like I would just be, minding my own business. And someone would be like, "Hey, you're Fantasia's sister, aren't you?" And it's like that happened more than it probably should have. And
Oh,
it's like, and
wow.
so yeah, she was popular. It's just popularity wasn't this big deal, but there were popular people
Yeah.
that just everybody kind of knew, I guess.
Yeah.
And so her and her boyfriend and the little friends she hung out with were the popular group in my high school because
That's so
everybody would be like, "Hey, you're Fantasia's sister," and I'll be like, "No, technically she's my sister because I'm older."
yeah.
It got a little annoying that people only knew me as Fantasia's sister. It's like, no.
right, yeah, no. Get the order right.
But yeah, that was a thing that actually happened. I mean, yeah, like when I was in my writing club in the senior year, somebody said that, that one really annoyed me because it's like I was at this writing after school club thing, because writing is my passion, so this is my territory, leave my
yeah.
sister out of it. And there's one
Right.
time with this girl I think I sat next to her in class, but I think it was science class, but she one day was like, "Hey, you're Fantasia's sister, aren't you?" And it's like, "How long have we had this class together?" And we never talked once. Like, what?
Wow.
It was this big thing.
That's
Like,
so weird. I can't imagine what that was like. Jeez.
yeah, and she would still tell you to this day that she was not popular, but she was. It's just because this popularity just wasn't this big thing like you see in TV.
Yeah,
But
right.
it wasn't like we had this popular clique, but was this group of students that apparently everybody knew, and my sister was a part of that, so she was technically popular. But yeah, so that was my high school experience.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But so yeah, it was really refreshing for Twyla to just not care about popularity, because we don't see that very much. It's Monster High, the main group of girls is popular. Like, they are the popular girls.
Yeah, they kind of are, but yeah, I think it's because like it makes the storytelling easier if it's like, well, everyone knows these students, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, they are the popular girls, aren't they?
But what I also like, this might be because it's also just a kid's show, but I still like it. But where the popular girls, except for Cleo, because she can still be mean except for with Deuce or her girlfriends, but all the other ones are relatively nice.
Yeah,
a lot of times
honestly.
in TV, you see the popular people as the mean ones. But here, except for Cleo, because she does have her mean moments, obviously, but the rest of
Right.
them are actually really nice people. Like,
Yeah.
they're nice to everybody, especially Dracula and Frankie, who are probably the nicest characters in the entire universe.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So that's also refreshing to get, like, cause just because you're popular doesn't mean you always have to be mean, you know?
Right.
And I like that they had these popular girls mostly be nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I feel like Deuce is kind of popular, and I think that's only because he's
I
dating
think.
Cleo. Like,
Oh, yeah. Probably that.
there's
Yeah.
this one scene. It was in Ghoul's Rule because it was these one where her father and sister were trying to tear them apart, but Deuce was like walking out of school towards Cleo, and he was just like waving to say hi to everybody. Like, that's such a popular thing to do.
Yeah.
But he also doesn't seem like somebody who would be popular just because of his chill attitude. But so I literally think he's only popular because he's dating Cleo.
I think you're probably right. I didn't like in the live action that like he was kind of an outcast. Like that didn't make sense to me, especially considering that like he was dating Cleo at some point, you know, like so
Well,
why wasn't he also the popular boy in the like the live action?
yeah. But in the live action, I think he used to be popular because of just a few lines he said. Because I think he was trying to change, and because it seemed like at the very beginning he was popular with Heath and the guys that they were with at that in the beginning song. But
Yeah.
he just kind of left the popular because he wanted to change.
Yeah. Yeah, like that like since you mentioned Heath, I'm like, oh well, I guess the popular boys in the Gen 1 is Heath, uh
Deuce
Deuce,
and Claude.
Claude. Yeah, I think they're like the main three boys.
And
Sometimes
Manny hangs out with
Manitar.
them
Yeah.
sometimes.
It's kind of funny to me because they're kind of himbos, I guess. Like I think all of them would qualify as a himbo. I don't know. I think that's so funny. I think that's amazing.
I laughed way too hard at that. I was not expecting that.
Well, I think like specific, like Manny is definitely a himbo. But like Heath is like him and Heath are like often like the comedic relief.
Yeah.
So I feel like yeah, they're both kind of ditzy. But yeah, even like Claude and Deuce can be a little ditzy too, but it's in a very charming way, I think.
Yeah.
And obviously they're very good to their partners too. So
Yeah, definitely. I laughed way too hard at that. But yeah, so I just think that Monster High did some of those, I guess, TV tropes, but like
Yes.
with the whole popular clique being the main clique or whatever, but like they put a refreshing twist on it that I really enjoyed seeing.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, they did a really good job with not just like blindly following the tropes, but kind of yeah.
And I like that they did do it because a lot of the audience is a lot younger, so they'll see it and not like have this weird ideal with certain things when that's just not
Yeah.
the case in
Yeah.
real life. So I really like that because it does make it more realistic. Because first of all, I don't think cliques are actually a real thing. Like
They
there might be this group that
definitely
just
weren't.
seems that is just popular because like a lot of people know who they are, but it doesn't mean they're this actual clique that everybody worships at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
my high school experience, I was telling you, Fantasia and her friends were kind of technically that's popular clique, but nobody worshipped them, and it's just a lot of people knew who
Right.
they were. That's why they were popular.
Yeah, I feel like the worship angle is like so inaccurate.
Exactly.
And I feel like a lot of like the like clicky like like oh like here's like the jocks and the nerds and stuff. I feel like that just like is an outdated thing.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that was more relevant in the past, but like now like when I was in school it really wasn't like yeah, like my friend group like was kind of a mix of like difference cliques, you know? And yeah, like there wasn't cliques in
Yeah.
my high school. So I don't think it's something that exists anymore, really.
Exactly. Like there are obviously jocks, and there's obviously that popular little group that everybody knows, but it doesn't mean that these are actual cliques that everybody just worships and that they have to
Yeah.
be mean or whatever. And I just love that Monster High did this refreshing twist, especially when it came out, because it's not that old, but I do think
No.
they came out like in the early 2000s, and that's when a lot of those TV tropes were actually really happening. So to
Yeah.
see this refreshing twist during that time is actually really nice, and I really like
Yeah. For sure.
it. So you said Ghouls Rule was your favorite movie, right?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, that's the Halloween one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I really yeah, I like the whole like origin story of like Halloween. I really like Jackson Jekyll's probably like one of my favorite male characters from the series. So I really
Yeah.
like that it's more about him, and I like that we get to see like the normies. I really liked when he goes to like normie school for a little bit. Like that was just really fun. Yeah, I don't know. It was just yeah, a good movie in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably one of my favorites too, but I have really hard trouble narrowing them down to just one favorite just because I love so many of them. I mean, I don't think there's one I blandly dislike. If there was one I disliked, it'd probably be the last one before the one
The
about Laguna. What's it
Great
called?
Scary Reef.
Yeah.
I didn't like that one either.
And it's really disappoints me because Laguna's actually one of my favorite characters. She's in my top
Right.
5, and she finally got. But I also feel like they just completely changed her character. You can obviously tell her voice actress is different. I don't even think they're Australian. I think that's a really bad accent. Maybe that's just me. But and uh and I just feel like she was always that chill one of the friend group that's like a lot like Deuce, honestly, the female version of Deuce, to be honest, if you think about it.
Yeah.
And she always tells everyone like that, like in Fry's camera action when Dracula was being bullied, she's like, it doesn't matter what they think, it matters what you think. And it's like, yeah, everybody has their breaking point, but I still feel like even if Laguna would do something she did, like what she did about inviting Toralei, even if she did do that, then that would be her breaking point. So all the other stuff in the movies just so out of character. And I still don't see Laguna doing anything as petty as uninviting Toralei to her own party. Like
Yeah.
that's so petty, and that's not Laguna. And first of all, she's a lot like Twilight, not really caring what others think about her.
Right.
And then this entire movie, she's basically just all moody and angry. And yeah, she's going through a lot, but it just feels so out of character for Laguna because she was that chill one of the group, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just, she's very high strung in this episode. And it's like, that's not Laguna. Like, what are
Right.
you doing? And I feel like they were running out of ideas anyways because they did get canceled right after this movie. So you can see how bad it actually did because that was the last movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it just annoys me because it feels like they completely did a 180 on one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. I think I've mentioned I never finished watching that one because I think I got to like the birthday party or the party or whatever, and like yeah, I just like I couldn't connect with the plot or anything. Like it just didn't feel like Monster High.
Yeah, I get that. And I feel like it's because since they made Laguna the main character, which is something we've all been waiting for because she hadn't actually had a movie of her own yet.
Yeah.
Changing Laguna's character so drastically is why a lot of people felt disconnected with it. Because what we love about these characters is that we know them. These are their quirks. These are their pros and cons because every character has pros and cons, which is another thing I love about Monster High, that nobody's perfect. Like they all have their issues here and there. But I just feel like with them having a Laguna focused movie and completely changing Laguna, that's what makes a lot of fans disconnect with it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I will have to say the one thing I did like about that movie was that the whole point was that they weren't allowed to leave until Laguna faced her fear. And I did like the resolution to that because when Laguna was going to do her whole dance thing or whatever in front of a crowd, you think in most children's movie, they'll have the big revolution where she's able to do it all of a sudden, no really explanation needed. But she didn't. She still froze. Everyone laughed, and then her friends came out and was like, "Hey, no, okay." She was courageous enough to actually come up here and do this, knowing that she has this fear, and then they leave. And they get chased by the Kraken, so they're forced to. So they convince Posey to take them back to Monster High. But I really like that she never actually succeeded in what she was supposed to do, which was a refreshing twist. So I will admit one pro to that movie because I did like that twist.
Right. Because, no, I think that. I mean, I didn't get to that part of the movie, but like, yeah, that does actually sound like a really good like twist on that.
Yeah, because like in most movies like this, you think they were going to, you know, have her be able to do the big dance in the end. But she did. She never actually technically faced her fear because she never was able to dance in front of people. Mm-hmm. So it just, and it also goes to show you that just because you don't have to face every fear. Like if you don't like dancing in front of people, then don't dance in front of people.
Right, yeah.
And I just feel like that is... I guess Monster High, I never really thought of it, but Monster High is really good at doing these tropes with refreshing twists and doing what you won't expect. I never really thought of it until we were talking about it. But I really like, so that is the one good thing that came out of that movie is that I do like that twist. So apparently Monster High has a lot of refreshing twists. I never noticed that.
I guess I never really put it that way either, but it does make a lot of sense. And I think that is like what they do very successfully with the series.
Yeah. But besides Ghouls Rule, what's your other favorite Monster High movies?
I really like Boo York. The music and it's so fun. And obviously, you know, Caddy is the main character and I loved her romance plot with Pharaoh. That one has always just stuck with me since that. Oh, and I like Cleo and Deuce's storyline too. That like, you know, her family's like, oh, Deuce isn't good enough for you. You gotta, you know. Were they trying to get her engaged with Pharaoh? I can't remember.
They were trying to marry her to Pharaoh.
Yeah, that's a little weird to do to a like 16-year-old.
Actually, she's over 5,000 years old. If you look
okay, but still, like you know, she's in high school. But yeah, but like you know, Cleo just kind of being like, no, well, she like went along with it because like she wanted to do it for her people. I think that's.
Well, she only agreed to it after Deuce broke up with her.
Oh, okay. Oh man, I need to refresh on this movie.
Yes. But they even have a whole breakup song. But
I don't remember that one. But I remember like every single song being such a good song.
I love the songs. I listen to them on Spotify. A lot. But yeah, my favorite song is actually Boo York, which is the one Caddy and Pharaoh sing together with.
Yeah, that
one was really good. But my mom just said the breakup song is so sad.
Oh.
But what I liked about the whole Cleo Deuce plot, besides, you know, Cleo choosing Deuce over her family and what her family wants for her, is that Deuce had always been that chill guy. Like at Ghouls Rule when they broke up, and he was just like, you know what, fine, whatever, because he knew that Cleo had issues with her family, so he was just like, even though it obviously hurts because he loved her, he was just like, fine, whatever, because he was also angry, so he was like hiding his emotions. But I like that over time you start to delve into his emotions a little bit, especially in Boo York, you get to see those more insecurity sides, because I believe that everybody, even the most secure, confident person, has some insecurities. Like everybody has that one or two things that they just don't like about themselves or their lives or whatever. And I just like that you finally get to see that side to Deuce, because you never really got to see that side to him before.
Right.
And I just feel like that was really nice to see, that just because he has this confidence exterior and he seems so secure with himself and his relationship to Cleo, he secretly is scared that he isn't good enough for her, because he does see her so high and she is like a legit pharaoh or whatever, like princess, future, well, never technically the future queen, but you know, whatever the heck they are, because they're like royalty somehow. but I don't think Ramses is a king. It's a little confusing, okay? But anyways,
Yeah.
so I do like the side where they explored Deuce's insecurities.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point.
So what are Cleo and them? Like, are they pharaohs? Like, because Pharaoh's a pharaoh, but they're royalty because they've explained that they're royalty, but like, do they rule a kingdom or something? Like, they never call Ramses a king.
Right.
I'm so confused.
I used to be like super into like ancient Egypt, like when I was in 3rd grade, but like now I'm kind of failing on my knowledge from then. I know like the people who got mummified were usually like royalty. So I think like Ramses has to be from some royal bloodline, I think, to have been mummified, you know. And clearly they are mummified because that's what kind of monster they are. But yeah, I don't know like if it is just pharaohs or if they did have kings and queens too.
Because the thing is, they never really call Ramses a king, nor Nephra and Cleo a princess. But Cleo does state more than once that she's royalty.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what her official title.
I don't really know Egyptian mythology very well. I'm better with Greek mythology because that's more my interest. Even though Egyptian mythology is kind of cool, I was always more into like the Greek gods and goddesses and that era. So I know more about that than I really don't know anything about Egyptian mythology.
I just Googled it. I think so. Pharaoh is the specific term for it, but also like a pharaoh is pretty much a king or a queen.
So Ramses is a pharaoh.
Yeah.
Okay. It feels weird calling him a pharaoh because Pharaoh's name is Pharaoh.
His pharaoh is Pharaoh. Yeah.
Like he goes by Pharaoh, so whenever I say Pharaoh, I think of him.
The character Pharaoh, yeah. Yeah, oh man, I gotta brush up on my ancient Egypt knowledge. Because that was like one of my interests. I loved going and see mummies in the like history museum. Yeah, some interesting practices.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's one thing I'm liking about my current story I'm writing is that I get to brush up on my Greek mythology because I kind of stopped learning about it years ago. So this way, I'm kind of having to do more research and brushing up on my previous knowledge of it.
That's so cool. It's exciting. I don't know if I'll ever write a story set in Egypt. I feel like I have to do so much research on it.
I have to do a lot of research on Greek mythology in Athens, Greece. So yeah, I feel that. But
yeah, I feel like it would be a very steep learning curve for me to write a book like that. But I don't know. I guess I would love to read, books that take place there. Maybe so.
Yeah.
Be something to look into.
Yeah. Sounds fun. But at least now we know what they are.
Yeah. I don't know why that never came up. I guess I kind of just assumed she was like a princess,
But they never actually call her princess. They always use the word royalty.
Yeah.
They made that part clear. But
right.
But yeah. So for me, I mean, my favorites would be, I really like Ghoul's Rule.
Mm-hmm.
Haunted is one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Boo York. Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love? I mentioned that earlier. That's one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. Price Camera Action, but Dracula is my favorite character, so of course the movies around her are going to be my favorite. And I really liked Friday Night Frights. Like, I consider that one of the most feminist movies in history, and I don't even think anyone ever really talks about that aspect to it because it's like the roller skating one. But if you look into it, it's like extremely feminist, and I love it.
Yeah, that one's really good. I gotta take a super quick break, but I will be right back.
All right. So everyone in the chat, What's your favorite Monster High movie? I'd love to know. Bring me another one too. Everyone in the chat, what's your favorite Monster High movie? Favorite Monster High character? Favorite Monster High ship? Friendship? Because I would love to know. Go ahead. Thank you. Everyone who has watched G3, what's your favorite episode of the series so far? I love, let me think. From what I've seen so far, I think I have two favorites. And that would be the one, I think it was episode 2, when you find out that Draculaura is practicing witchcraft, and then Frankie and Claudine find out, and they help her undo the mess she accidentally created while trying to do witchcraft. And also the one with Laguna, where Toralei discovers it and is trying to blackmail Draculaura, and then Laguna's forced to help Toralei because she's also blackmailing Laguna. But then her and Laguna have like this really cute heart-to-heart, which is why I shipped them in the first place. And then when Toralei is about to prove that she's a witch by showing them her little witch layer thing she has in her closet, everyone at the school goes there to see that there's nothing there, and then there was water, so Draculaura, Claudine, and Frankie go to Laguna's place and sees all of Draculaura's witchcraft stuff there, because Laguna had quickly figured out what Toralei was going to do and quickly moved everything before Toralei could prove that Draculaura is practicing witchcraft. And they were just like so adorable. Like, that is why I shipped them. So yeah. Plus, I think they foreshadowed it in like episode 2 when Laguna and Toralei's talking. And Laguna's like, there's gonna be a love story between a monster and a witch. And it's like they totally foreshadowed them, okay? I'm shipping them hard. I might ship Draculaura and Claude if we get more of them. It also depends because they're the same characters, but they're also different characters. So they're obviously my favorite ship in Generation 1, but I'm not sure about Generation 3 because we haven't gotten that much of them yet, I don't think. Unless they're in one of the episodes I have not been able to watch yet. But I am really shipping Draculaura and Laguna, and I kind of want them to become canon. And who knows if they will, though. Like, I mean, this generation is being so much more diverse. First of all, we have Frankie as a non-binary character. Plus, we have more realistic body types with Draculaura and Abby, and I think some other characters, Cleo too, which I really like. And so yeah, So maybe they'll make a lesbian couple. Like, I'm all here for it. Like Robin said, I can so see G3 Draculaura being a lesbian. Like, I totally get that vibe from her. So I kind of hope Draculaura and Laguna become canon. I kind of ship Frankie and Claudine too, not as much, but they're cute. So there's that too. But I don't know what the canon couples are gonna end up being. Like, we'll just have to wait and see. Though I'm pretty sure they're going to make Abby and Heath finally canon, just because of the last episode I did get to watch.
So, I'm Jahar's mom. But my all-time favorite character is Abby. I absolutely love Abby. She is so real, even more than Twilight, because she says what she wants and she doesn't seem to understand hardly anything that's going on, but she has an opinion about everything. She's freaking amazing. I absolutely love her and I adore her. We're talking about Monster High. Say hi.
Hi, Mommy Mimi.
But I just thought I'd come in here and talk to Jahar a little bit about it.
Yeah, Abby was introduced in the last episode I got to see of G3.
See, I've never seen any of the series.
You should. I'm really enjoying it.
I only seen all of the movies, and I like the live action so much. See, I usually watch the Monster High movies whenever my kids want to watch them because my 15-year-old daughter, she's a Frankie fan. Anyway, she's a Frankie fan. But the live action, when Jahar got me to watch it, I love it so much. I caught myself watching it a couple of times on my own without my kids. And I am a Draculaura and a Frankie disliker when it comes to the Generation 1. But I tell you one thing, in the live action movie, I like them better than I like Cleo, Laguna, all of them.
They're my favorites.
Yeah, I really like the two of them.
Draculaura was always my favorite, but I didn't like Frankie in Generation 1.
Yeah, but this live action really did them justice, and I'm kind of excited for the second movie.
Me too.
I can't wait.
Especially since Draculaura is going to take the, be the main character in this one. And
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I heard after the first movie did pretty well that they were already aiming for a trilogy. And my guess was that they were going to, since three of them are the main characters, one for each movie.
That's what I assumed they were doing, yeah. I mean, it would make more sense.
But the series for Generation 1 wasn't much of a series. They were called webisodes. And basically each episode was only like 3-4 minutes. But yeah, they were just like short storylines, and a lot of them would end up in cliffhangers and stuff. But I do like some of the episodes, but the main reason why I watched it in the first place was to get a better understanding of some characters. And like the webisodes is how you find out how Draculaura and Claude get together, because they weren't together at first. And you also get to meet some characters you get to see how Spectra first came to school, how Abby came to school, because their introductions were in the webisodes. Plus, you find out like Jackson and Holt were both started around the same time, but they didn't know that they were the same person, so that was fun to experience. So yeah, there was that. But Abby and G3, from what I only got to see one episode of her so far, and I love her character design even more than Generation 1, because she does have a more realistic body type. She's a bit more, I wouldn't say heavier because she's not fat or anything. She's just not really skinny either, kind of like Draculaura in Generation 3. She's not fat, she's not skinny, and it's like a realistic body type.
Normal people?
Yes, and Cleo's kind of like that too, honestly, in Generation 3. And I love it because you don't see that much, especially in cartoons.
That's true. That is definitely true.
And that was one thing that Monster High didn't have, even though the first generation.
They always like to make females more unrealistic.
Yeah.
And which is why a lot of teenagers and stuff have body image issues, because they always try to make them what they're not and what normal kids are not. And normal teenagers and stuff are in between. I mean, you don't really see any that are really, really super skinny unless they have a bulimia or something, and you don't really see them heavy. They're kind of in between, and it's nice to see that
Yeah.
in shows.
Especially
Um,
one aimed for kids because it's showing that
Exactly.
it's okay to be
It's okay to be that way. Yeah,
and
exactly.
there's nothing wrong with you. And I'm really liking that because I mean, as we know, Cleo and Draculaura are part of the popular clique,
Mhm.
and it's nice to see that in the popular clique as well. Especially since Draculaura is like really popular in the series, like everybody knows her and stuff. She's like a class president, I think, and stuff. So
Mm.
she's like the
Alright.
popular girl in this series. But yeah, and Mom hijacked my show.
Yeah, no worries. Good to see you.
She was in here by herself.
No, I'm glad that you did come in
Yeah,
because I
so
feel
I
bad
decided
for
to come
leaving
in
you.
discuss with her so that she wasn't here talking to herself because
Yeah.
there's a lot of time alone.
But we were just talking about G3 and how I love the representation because as much as G1 will always be my favorite part of nostalgia and it was a part of my childhood, but it wasn't great at sometimes with representation except for like sometimes like with Cleo's race and stuff. It would show
Mhm.
some of that because she is Egyptian and stuff like that. But it wasn't really that great with representation. But G3, I don't know if these lesbian non-canon couples are going to become canon, but we'll have to wait and see. But Frankie is non-binary, so there's that. I know Robin said that she was annoyed how in the movie, even though Frankie stated that they were non-binary, they never actually, you don't actually ever see anyone call them they or them
Yeah.
in the movie. But in the series, you do a few times. Like every time Frankie's being referred to, they don't just call them Frankie. They'll be like they, them, and stuff.
I was
which
say
really like.
I remember in the live action she mentioned it twice. I'm sorry. I apologize. I have
It's
trouble with
okay.
that. I'm the old generation where you didn't really have that, and so
She's
I'm
trying.
learning. And Johara, if I hear it enough, I say it. Like my kids watch zombies a lot, and on the third zombie, one of the aliens is non-binary, and I've
A non-binary alien, you'll like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
really, yeah. And they immediately, right off the bat, were calling the alien they. And we
That's
didn't catch it
really
the first
cool.
time.
Yeah, it was so subtle.
Yeah, because the alien never actually stressed, this is what I am. It's just the very first time the zombie Zed said something to the alien, he automatically said they.
And then later on, they could keep calling them they. Plus, they did end up having what's the non-binary alien's name again? Aspen and this female werewolf kind of become canon at the end.
Yes.
It was hinted at.
And the thing about it is they did it. See, I'm always telling Johara that things should not be like we were talking about coming out, people coming out to their parents that they're gay or whatever. I'm always telling Johara I think that's ridiculous because you're supposed to love your kids no matter what they are. And therefore, I don't want my kids to have to say, "Oh, Mom, I have to tell you this. I'm gay or I'm non-binary." I just want my child to come up to me one day and say, "Hey, Mom, this is my girlfriend or this is my boyfriend or I'm bi or whatever." It shouldn't be a big ceremony. It should just be natural.
Yeah.
And at least that's what I believe. And therefore, I liked how they did it in Zombies because it was like so subtle. We did not even notice it the very first time.
Yeah.
And Jahar's usually
Yeah,
and it was so subtle.
They normalized it.
Yeah, we did not even notice that. And the second time through, all of a sudden she goes, "Wait a minute, did that just say they?" And she rewinded like 2 or 3 times to make sure that was what she heard. And we were very, very impressed. And like you said, when we got the werewolf and the alien together, when they got the alien and the werewolf together, it was so subtle that it was just like she had a crush. They had a crush on Zed the zombie first, and then all of a sudden they looked at the werewolf and just smiled at her, and you could see the instant reaction. And it's like they didn't make a big deal about it or nothing. At the very end, they were talking about being together, and that was it. It was so freaking normal that it's my favorite zombie movie, and it's the third one.
Yeah, it's my favorite
I love
too.
it. I love it. How normal they made it. It was amazing.
I definitely highly recommend that trilogy. It's a Disney trilogy, so they're on Disney Plus. They're just called Zombies. So like first movie Zombies and Zombies 2, Zombies 3. But yeah, Zombies 3 is the best with the music, with the dancing, plus the representation. So yeah, and especially since you love aliens and aliens are in the first one, plus there's a non-binary alien who ends up with a girl. You will love that movie.
Yeah,
That
like I
does
said,
sound
I
really
catch
cool.
myself watching that Zombies by myself without my kids. You know, 'cause my kids like watching Zombies too, because my 17-year-old's into shows that have music and musicals and stuff. And so we're always watching Descendants or Zombies or whatever. And I catch myself sometimes just turning that on because I really, really like it. It was just amazing how subtle and stuff they were. But I'm sorry for taking over your show.
I'm so glad you could share your thoughts.
Well, I'll just leave it to you guys now because you're the experts on the show. I'm just giving you my 2 cents, you know. But by the way, I love your hair. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. It's
But,
okay. Thank
I
you.
wanted to say, because Abby's your favorite character, and I was telling you how I do like this character design because they aren't necessarily skinny, and I do really like that. But
is that in the third arc? You said
third generation,
Yeah.
in the series. And
I'm still confused about what's first, second, and third.
well, first generation is the Monster High movies that we grew up with, you know, the ones that you've seen.
Okay.
Then there's the second generation, which is only 2 movies because it sucked and got canceled pretty early. Nobody likes that. We don't even talk about a second generation. It doesn't exist. It does not exist.
Okay.
And then there's the generation 3, which is this new one, which is the live action movie and the series.
Oh, so the live action movie goes with the series.
Well, I mean, yes and no. Like, it's the same character design, same storylines, but the series is on its own. Like, in the movie, you know how Draculaura, everyone found out she was a witch. In the series, it's still a secret except for a few people. So it's
well, naturally, because they're going on more with the. I get.
So it's the same universe, but different at the same time. But anyways, Abby, even though I prefer her character design, I actually prefer her in Generation 1 because I feel like in Generation 3 she was more like shy and soft spoken, and I was like, that's not Abby. But,
no.
But obviously they changed pretty much every character for the most part, so they're not going to be the same.
You told me to stop.
But it does look like that they might make Abby and Heath canon, which I'm so excited for because they never officially
You always
became
wanted
canon.
that in the movie.
Yes,
yes.
they were never official canon.
You know, like Fire and
I thought
Ice.
they got together in the webisodes.
Huh?
I thought they got together in the webisodes.
They flirted with each other. I think they went out here and there, like they went to a dance together, but they never dated. And
I thought they were, but yeah, it must.
But I absolutely love them, and it's not even because they're Fire and Ice, even though that's cool. It's because first of all, I like that one webisode when they were trying to do the speed dating thing.
Yeah.
Okay. But they were trying to do the speed dating thing for Abby, and they but they kept trying to get Heath away because they thought he was just gonna be Heath.
Yeah.
And they were like, "This is serious, so go away." But Abby ended up choosing Heath, and when they asked why, she was like, "Heath makes me laugh," and I'm like, "Yes, so sweet." Plus, and then there was that movie, Scary City of Frights, right? Yeah, and when Heath was like, "Did anybody miss me?" And then Abby was like, "I did a little bit," and I was like, "They're so cute."
That is really cute.
In the episode where Abby was introduced, Heath liked her immediately and kept flirting with her, and she would like blush at some of the things he said and did. And it's like they might actually be making this canon, and I swear if they did, I will scream. Like I've been wanting that forever.
That would be so cool.
I really hope they make them canon.
My buddy has come in, so.
Hi.
Real quick, he walked in. He's confused. He's like, "Who talked?" And do they have something for me? No. You can't have too many of those. It's not good for you. Oh yeah.
But did you ever ship Abby and Heath?
I feel like I don't know. I wasn't as into them as a couple, even though I have seen all the webisodes, and I did like the one with the speed dating too, but I don't know. Like Abby's like one of my favorite characters though. So for me, it's like if she's going to have like a partner, I want to love that partner. And I like Heath as like the comedic relief character, but yeah, it just didn't.
Heath gets annoying. Honestly, I like his thing he has with Abby. Like I just feel like it's so cute, and I like how Heath can kind of be like overbearing, but Abby's like the one person that can handle him and doesn't think
Yeah.
he's too Heath. She likes him for being Heath because I know that at times people would say he would have to change to fit someone else's, and nobody actually liked him for him until Abby. Like she actually like the what is it? I think it was Why Do Eagles Fall in Love, because isn't that the one where Gulia did the whole love test and then it turned out to be Heath, which would turn out to be a bug in her computer? And everyone kept saying
that subplot better, but that sounds about accurate.
But someone kept saying, everyone kept saying you need to tone it down because Gulia's more shy. Guli, you know, you're very Heath, and he was like, but I do respect Heath on not wanting to ever tone it down and not be Heath. Like,
right,
he was who he was, and he was unapologetically like he was never sorry about it, which is one thing I do like about his character. But I just love how Abby doesn't care. Like she doesn't care if he's too Heath. She likes him for who he is, which is what he needs, you know. And I feel like she can also handle him in a way nobody else can, and like she can just like tone him down a bit, like make him more grounded, you know. And I just feel like they're like the perfect match. So yeah, I do love them. And I really want them to be canon in Generation 3, because even though it was canon that they liked each other, what annoyed me was in Scary City of Frights. Right after they had that cute moment, he starts flirting with Jennifer. And then in Boo York, during Caddy's song, you see all these couples dancing. If you pay attention, there's Heath and Jennifer kind of confirming that they got together, which annoys the heck out of me because they literally only pair them together because they both have fire, and it's like they weren't compatible. They didn't have any chemistry, so they only did it because Jennifer has fire, just like Heath.
Yeah. I wish that they had at least developed their relationship a bit more than just.
And I also feel like
than just thrusting them together like they did.
Especially since Heath and Abby had been kind of hinting at since the webisodes, you know?
Yeah.
The moment Abby first came on, Heath flirted with her, and she kind of froze him. And ever since then, it was always the two of them. They were the main love interest for each other. Like, I mean, Heath was kind of a flirt, but his main person he wanted to flirt with was Abby. And I feel like Jennifer is also just like Deuce and Laguna, more on the chill side of things. And I also don't see her liking Heath because I feel like he would be too Heath for her.
Right.
Unlike Abby, who I feel like likes that side of him, which no one else really does, which is why they're the perfect match. And
like I can understand why Heath would like Jennifer, but I don't understand why Jennifer would like Heath.
Exactly.
You know, like that's what kind of annoys me about it. And I wish we knew a little bit more about her too.
Yeah, she wasn't on much, sadly. Well, they did bring her back for Freaky Fusion. She had a pretty big role in that one.
Yeah, but then she was mostly with Laguna.
Right. So we
don't get much of her individually. And we don't get much of Venus either individually, which I've always been a little upset about. That like she was mostly in the webisodes, and like even then, what are you sniffing me for? She was you know, her biggest part was probably the Ghoul Friends books, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like it was such a wasted potential of her character.
True. But honestly, I get why there's several characters that we didn't get much of, because there are just so many characters and we can't put all of them in the spotlight. Like, if they would have continued Generation 1, I would have loved to see some of those side characters more, like have one featuring more Skeleta and Jennifer, or Venus, Rebecca, and Rochelle. I feel like Rebecca and Rochelle, even Rebecca and Rochelle, even though out of the three, Rochelle is actually my favorite. I didn't know if you knew that. But I feel like even them had more of a spotlight than Venus at times. Like, they both had a big part in, well, mostly Rebecca. Rochelle wasn't in until the end, but Friday Night Frights. And then Rochelle had her time to shine in Scary City of Frights with her.
Rebecca's been in a lot of them. She was in Freaky Fusion.
She was.
Friday Night Frights, and then Camera Action.
She actually is
really important in.
Yeah, exactly.
Like she comes up a lot, you know. She's pretty important.
Yeah, like Spectra and Operetta. Like you see Spectra and Operetta as those schools that aren't really part of the main friend group, but and Abby too. The three of them,
Yeah.
it's like they aren't a part of the main friend group, but they show up a lot.
Yeah, I kind of wish we had our specifically Abby movie. I wish she got her own movie, and I wish Gulia would get her own movie.
Yes,
too.
I feel like Gulia is the most underrated out of the main friend group because she is a part of the main friend group.
Yeah, but she's always like in her like side plot in like every single movie. Like
But
she's
even
not.
Oh, sorry, what?
Sorry, like she's always like kind of doing her own like storyline in every movie, you know.
Yeah. But even in the theme song where it says talks about all the ghouls, Gulia only shows up with Dracula with Cleo's. Like you see Cleo, and then Gulia will kind of show up, like poked her head in, and it's like to show because she was mostly there for Cleo. She was kind of like Cleo's sidekick in a way.
Oh my god, you're so right. Yeah,
I never thought of it like that, but it's kind of true.
I never either, but you're totally right. Yeah, that's so crazy. Also, I love that you're drinking Dr. Pepper. Represent.
It's only because we don't have cherry Coke.
Well, it's the superior beverage, in my opinion.
It's really not.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that.
This is why my mom likes you so much.
Because your mom is smart and knows that Dr. Pepper is the best.
I wonder if she's still watching. Like, Mom, did you hear that? Are you still watching? Oh, come here. But I find that funny. My mom did say that she likes you.
Why wouldn't she? I love Brenda.
Oh.
So.
Well, she saw I was drinking Dr. Pepper. She was like, I like that you're drinking Dr. Pepper. Represent. And I was like, I'm only doing it because we don't have any cherry Coke. And she was like, the superior beverage. And I'm like, no, not really. And I was like, this is why my mom likes you. And she said, that's because your mother's smart and she knows what's what.
Could I adopt you? Seriously?
Sure, yeah, when can I move in?
Right away. But we have to find a place for Johara because, you know, she has issues with Dr. Pepper, so she could just go. She could just
Yeah,
go.
we don't need her. We don't need her
Yeah,
to
that's
bring
right.
these toxic vibes in our Dr. Pepper house. Like
Exactly. She only drinks it because sometimes I just refuse to buy cherry Coke.
as you should.
Exactly. See, I like her. You two can switch places, right? Right?
Yeah, let's do it. You can have all the cherry Coke you want now.
See? And then I'll have a Dr. Pepper buddy.
I feel betrayed. I've been betrayed by you both. I don't no longer like the two of you. You two can have each other. I'm going to move in with Alyssa.
I'm all for that. Bye.
Y'all are awful. Lies. Y'all are mean.
All you have to do is admit that Dr. Pepper is the best drink, and then you can move back in. Like,
it's too harsh for me. Like the taste I can only deal with for so long, but cherry Coke I never get tired of.
I'm the opposite. Not like Dr. Pepper's the only like soda I really drink anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'll drink Dr. Pepper obviously if we don't have cherry Coke, but honestly, I only care about drinking cherry Coke to be honest.
Right? Yeah.
But I'm still hurt. I've been betrayed. I've been betrayed. I thought we were friends. You chose my mom over me.
She's my mom now.
Wow. So you know Alyssa, right? You remember her?
Oh yeah, I love Alyssa.
My mom kind of unofficially adopted her, especially
You
after
mean
her
she's
mom
not
passed.
part of the family already? Like,
I love that. She said I was her mom
Shut up. She turned it back on, so
oh,
she
it's
heard everything.
amazing.
But she kind of unofficially adopted Alyssa.
Mm-hmm.
Alyssa even calls her second mom, and so apparently now she's unofficially adopted you too.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. We're moving in.
Wow. I'm so hurt and betrayed.
It's okay. Drink your Dr. Pepper. I'll make you feel better.
Here's a hot take. Dr. Pepper's not that great.
Oh my god, I can't. I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that.
I'm laughing too hard. I can't even drink my soda now. You guys are just.
I don't mess around when it comes to Dr. Pepper. Like everyone who knows me knows that I love Dr. Pepper. Like it is like one of my core traits. Like
Yeah, well, apparently it's a thing within my family because my aunt, my mom's sister, also is obsessed with Dr. Pepper. Apparently it's in the blood and I just didn't inherit it.
How'd you miss it?
I don't know. I think it skips a generation because I don't think my mom's mom liked Dr. Pepper that much. I think her thing was root beer. I don't like root beer.
I hate root beer. It's like my least favorite thing.
I won't go that far. I think my least favorite would be either mix between Diet, the Zero stuff, and then Sprite and 7-Up. Those are my least favorite. But then root beer is probably right after those.
I can like kind of.
Oh my gosh, the two of you are like twins.
Wait, what? Wouldn't
He just came in laughing, saying that root beer is her least favorite too.
Oh my god! That's so funny. Yeah, I hate it. It's so gross.
Oh really? Apparently, it's just her and her sister that's obsessed with Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, she began it. Her and her sister began it.
Apparently, you fit in with them.
Yeah. No root beer. Dr. Pepper house.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't like diet soda either. Diet, like whatever's the diet sweetener, it tastes so weird to me. So I don't like it, and I can always tell when it's a diet too. Because my mom will drink diet soda, so like sometimes it'll be like, oh, is this my pop or yours? So I'll drink it, and like immediately I'll be like, okay, this is yours, or no, this is mine. Like I can tell.
Yeah. I feel like diet does have that extinguished taste. And I feel like the Zero stuff do too, you know, Coke Zero, whatever. Those are awful too.
It's a very similar sweetener replacement that they use in the Zero too. Like I feel like Zero is so similar to diet.
Yeah.
He's licking my elbow.
Huh?
The dog's licking my elbow.
Weird. Okay then.
He's a weird old man. You're weird.
But I also don't like Sprite or 7-Up.
I used to like it when I was younger, but now it's kind of too sweet for me. And it just like tastes syrupy.
But after the diet stuff, Zero stuff, and then the Sprite and 7-Up, root beer will be like close to those because I really do not like root beer either.
No, root beer's like I cannot drink it. That's how much I dislike it. And I'm like the kind of person who can usually like stomach something that I don't particularly like.
Oh, I can't.
So like I have to really, really dislike something if I'm like not gonna eat it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like root beer is one of those things that like I cannot stomach at all.
Well, and it's funny because you know how I'm obsessed with cherry Coke, but I do not like actual Coke. It's weird.
Really?
It's weird because I don't actually like cherries, but I love cherry Coke.
So you like the cherry flavor. Do you like cherry like flavored candy or?
I never had cherry flavored candy, but I don't like cherry Pop-Tarts. It's like I only like it in cherry Coke. It's really weird.
That is so, yeah, that is peculiar. I don't really like Coke much either anymore. I used to like it when I was younger, but
Yeah, I think I used to like it, yeah, when I was younger too, but something happened with my taste buds, I think.
yeah, taste buds do change as you get older. So yeah, for me, a lot of like the stuff I liked is too sweet for me now. So that's why. No, that's okay. I don't need kisses. Uh, so yeah, so now it's just like Dr. Pepper. Sometimes I'll have a ginger ale, but that's about the only two pops I'll drink.
Yeah, for me it's mostly cherry Coke and then Dr. Pepper as a substitute if I don't have cherry Coke. But if I don't have either soda, I do like chocolate milk.
I do have like chocolate milk phases, or I like hot chocolate more than chocolate milk.
And I don't know how you feel about juice. I'm not really much of a juice fan, but I will drink these if we literally have nothing.
Oh, I love those.
Yes, purple one. I love grape flavor.
Yeah, me
And it's
too.
my favorite flavor actually. So I will drink these if we have nothing else. I used to be obsessed with these as a kid,
Me
but
too.
we've been having refrigerator problems. So because of that, and I don't like hot soda, I've been drinking a lot more of these, which I haven't done since I was probably in elementary school. But
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. That's such a throwback. But yeah, like I will still drink one of those if I can get my hands on it. But I don't really buy juice anymore. Like,
Yeah, I'm not a huge juice fan.
I don't know. Like, I'll drink it, I guess, if it's offered to me, but like I don't really like buy juice to have in the house. Like, I don't have any juice right now. Like,
We buy juice, but that's because of my
we got
little
the little
siblings.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, mostly Porcelain and Kal-El, the two youngest ones, love soda. So they
Yeah.
do prefer soda, though my mom does try to limit them and be like, no, drink juice or chocolate milk or whatever we have right now. But then the two older ones, Emerald and Silver, they don't like soda so at all. So they only will drink these and chocolate milk.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah.
Or my mom will buy powder juice as well and make it. But she buys these whenever she doesn't want to make juice.
I've gotten like the powdered like lemonade before, and like that's pretty good. Or sometimes I'll do Kool-Aid in the summer. And that's been good. But yeah, I don't remember the last time I bought a carton of juice.
Yeah, I'm not a huge juice fan, but I can't tolerate these because I did used to love them when I was a kid. Like I would always take one of those to my lunchbox at school. Like that was a thing.
Those are so nostalgic to me, so I totally get you.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like I know when I was working at Herf Jones, you might remember those days. I think I used to drink some Gatorade to keep me,
hydrated.
Yeah, during
Gatorade, I only drink when I am sick. So like to me, like I associate it with being sick, so I don't really drink it otherwise.
I like I said, grape is my favorite flavor, so I prefer the purple ones. The grape flavored ones.
I usually get the like clear ones, but I think that's also grape flavored.
Well,
remember.
I don't know. But I know that when I was working at Herb Jones, I bought a lunchbox and a thermos so I can keep my drink cold and have something to put my food in. And I couldn't help myself, but I bought the lunchbox and thermos as Monster High.
Really? Oh my gosh!
I don't have the lunchbox anymore. I think it got ruined in the fire, but I still have the thermos somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I still have it.
That's so cool. Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it and send you pictures.
Yeah.
Because I know I saw it. Like, I know I saved it. I just don't know where. It might be in the kitchen. Because I usually keep it in my room. But I think when I put it in the sink to get it washed, that I never brought it back. So it's probably still in the cabinet, to be honest.
Right. Yeah, yeah. That's so cool.
I also have a Harry Potter cup. It was my dad's, but my mom gave it to me after she cleared out his trailer. So I have it now. It's
that's
over there.
Nice. Yeah. Is that just a regular cup or is that a thermos?
It's just a cup. I haven't actually drank out of it yet. I think it needs washed, but yeah. It's like these.
The boat scene, right? Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cute. Oh, nice.
So I have that.
Yeah.
I also have this little thing. It's technically in the shape of a cup, but it's not meant to be used as a cup.
Yeah.
And it's glass. I got it a little while ago. My friend sent it to me. And it's this. This broke, so I had to do Gorilla Glue. But there's a little panda inside it.
Oh,
It's
that's
meant to be a display.
adorable.
Yeah.
Aw, cute.
But yeah, so I have that too. And I have the Draculaura and the Lego Neville that you got me displayed over in that area too.
That's so exciting. Yay.
Because I love them.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you are enjoying them.
I was so happy because it's like I don't really have much Monster High stuff to be
That's
sadly.
what I figured, yeah.
And I do want to build my Monster High collection now that I'm getting some Monster High stuff.
Mhm.
And I feel like because there was a little while where I wasn't watching Monster High anymore, but then I got back into it, and now I'm back in my hyper fixation of it.
Yeah.
And so there's that. Because I feel like there was a period of time where I don't remember, talking about Monster High often or really watching the movies. So I don't know, sometimes and even though you love something, you just kind of get out of it for a little bit. And I think that's kind of happened to me, but now I'm back into my hyperfixation and I love it. But I think I showed it on one of my lives, I might be wrong, but I had a huge Monster High poster.
Oh yeah, I remember that
But
one. Yeah.
it also got ruined in the fire, sadly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Which sucks because I loved that poster. It was the only Monster High thing I had until you got me those.
Well, I'm glad at least now you have Draculaura, so there's that. But yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, I do love my little Draculaura and my little Lego Neville. They're displayed in front of one of my Grim Reapers because I have a thing for Grim Reapers too.
That's a little creepy.
I love skeletons.
You're like, I love bears and I love Monster High and Harry Potter, and I also love the Grim Reaper.
It's weird because it's like I love these really sweet, wholesome things like
Yeah.
Monster High and cuddly little stuffed bears and other animated stuff. But then I like horror movies and the blood gushing and the Grim Reaper and the witches stuff. And it's like I have really these two sides. This really sweet innocent side and this really dark and creepy side.
It's very funny, yeah.
And that is me. I am both sides. I love the innocent stuff. I love the creepy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We got a little bit off topic here.
A little bit, but that's okay. Yeah, that's just a live show with us.
True. At least we haven't done one of our deep dives yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
It would be a live show with the two of us if we didn't have it.
Well, I feel like it's usually. I think Tiffany's usually with us too. I think it's usually the three of us when we
and then we end up into some deep dive real thing that gets very serious.
Yeah, like I feel like it has to be the three of us, and we will get started on something like that. So yeah.
So maybe we can avoid it this once.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
So yeah. I know that when Alyssa was living with me for a little bit at that house that had burned down. It burned down like way after she moved. But if I remember correctly, I forced her to watch the Monster High movies with me.
Did she like them?
I don't think she was like me, like I love them, but I don't think she disliked them either. I think she was okay with them. I don't see her ever just turning them on because she wants to, but she might watch them if she was with me and I had turned one on. Like, I don't think she loved them, but I don't think she hated them.
That's fair, yeah. Very like neutral feelings towards it. Oh.
But I had to make my best friend watch them.
Yeah, I'm surprised she hadn't seen them before, to be honest.
I was trying to think about when my hyperfixation for Monster High came back, and I honestly think it was when I first moved to Illinois. Maybe it's an Illinois thing, because I think I kind of lost it when I moved to Florida. Maybe I'm wrong, but when I moved back to Illinois, and I moved in with my dad for like a year before my mom decided to move back to Illinois too. And he took me to the store where things were like cheaper. There were movies, video games, a whole bunch of things. And I guess it was kind of like a thrift store, but a little bit different at the same time. I don't remember what it's called, but it had some Monster High posters, which is the one where I got the one I had.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so I was with him when I got it, and when I saw it, I got so happy because I remember loving Monster High. So that's when I got that. I think shortly after that is when I bought all the movies on YouTube because I ended up wanting to rewatch them. And now I'm back into my hyperfixation, so.
And the rest is history.
Right? Did you ever have a period like that where you kind of just maybe not lost interest, but just kind of got out of that era for a little bit?
I completely understand, the like kind of like the interest kind of dwindling for a little bit. I feel like I often go through that, and then like I'll kind of rediscover, something that I like, and then I'll be into it again for a little bit. For Monster High, like my first wave Monster High, like obsession was kind of a little bit tamed, I think, because I was in high school. I was like, oh, like, I still liked kid stuff in high school, but I also was like, no, I gotta be an adult now. Like, I can't, like, get dolls and stuff. But, like, I would still watch the movies. And then I had 2 dolls at the time just to, like, collect. One of them being Venus, of course. And then, like, I think, like, I got out of Monster High, like, when Scarier Reef came out. And, like, I watched that briefly, and I was like, oh, I don't like this that much. And like I kind of noticed like the quality in the dolls were going down, and it was kind of heading into Gen 2. And so like at that point I kind of lost interest in it because I was like, oh, like what I really liked about it no longer exists. And then like I think like 2020 hit, and then I was just kind of like spent a lot of time on eBay and stuff, and then I got into like buying the doll secondhand again, and that kind of made me like, oh, I should rewatch the like webisodes, I should rewatch the movies, and then it just kind of all like snowballed from there.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like a lot of like adults who love the things they loved when they were kids go through a period around middle school or high school where they kind of lose, and it's not even maybe that they even really lost interest, is that they're told that they're supposed to be growing up, and so things are beneath them, so they pretend that they don't care anymore, and they kind of seem to lose interest. But then when they're older, they realize that none of that stuff matters anymore, and they're like, you know what, I like this, you guys, I just don't care what you think anymore, I'm going to love this because I love it. So yeah, I feel like a lot of people go through that. So
yeah, I feel like now is like my true Monster High phase because I'm really just embracing all of it. But I do think part of it was the social pressure back then, but also like I was kind of at the age where like I would try playing with dolls, but like I wasn't really having fun with it. So like I knew I was kind of past that age of like, I kind of, my interest became something else, and it kind of was like, well, what's the point of owning a doll if I'm not going to play with it? So I feel like that also had part of it. And I didn't quite know that doll collecting was a thing yet. And I think like seeing like doll collectors on YouTube too also helped me, that it's like, oh, like there's a lot of adult doll collectors. Like this is a very common hobby that I have. And like that definitely, made it easier for me to get into and kind of embrace this part of me that's just like, I just love having the dolls. They're so cute. Like they make me so happy. Like honestly, I'll just like look at them sometimes and they'll like instantly cheer me up. Like
I definitely want to get some Monster High dolls. I want to see if I can buy some G1 ones secondhand, but I also want to buy G3 ones new. So I'm very excited for that. Didn't you buy a couple G3 ones? Because I think you showed me.
Yes, I have 3 of them actually, but I don't have any of them with me since I moved. I bought Frankie, I bought Draculaur, and then I got Toralei too because Toralei is so cute. I love that she is a like she's in a band now. I thought that was such a cool like addition to her character. So
She's British now.
is she really? Oh,
she's British.
I don't know how I feel about that. That's kind of weird to me. But yeah, I got 3 of them so far. They're so cute. Yeah, I'm so pleased with this reboot because especially like I said, like the Gen 2 dolls sucked. Like they were so cheap, and they were
everything about G2 sucked. So
yeah. And like it kind of ruined Monster High for me too. That I was like, what I really liked about Monster High originally, part of it was just like the insane quality of the dolls they were putting out, you know. But yeah, Gen 3, and I like the different body shapes of Gen 3 too. I love Draculaura's body shape. I love that she's shorter. I love that she's thicker. It is like I am so in love with her design.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what Mom and I were talking about a little bit when you came back on. And because there are a few characters in this series that are not exactly, really skinny, but they're not really fat either because they're more realistic body shapes, And I mean, Draculaura's one, Abby, when she was introduced, and kind of Cleo as well.
Cleo definitely has a different body shape,
which I really like, especially since Cleo is supposed to be the it girl. Though in the series, it seems like Draculaura is more the it girl. Like she's the head fear leader, she's the class president, and she's the one that everybody kind of knows and likes. So it seems like she's more the it girl.
Yeah, she kind of took Cleo's role because I think Cleo was head cheerleader and she was definitely like class president too.
Yeah, so I mean Cleo's kind of taking a back seat so far in the series, which is one thing I'm not liking. Like she doesn't even really see like the friend group seems to honestly more just be a trio between Draculaura, Claudine, and Frankie. Like
I don't mind that too much though.
Yeah, I don't either.
Like the original trio.
Yeah, I really like them as a trio.
Yeah.
It's just I wish we get more into Cleo, which she did have a couple episodes that she was the spotlight of, which I liked. And there was this one episode that kind of made me remind me of G1 Cleo because it's like she was so jealous with Draculaura, who had like all these followers on their websites or whatever's their main social media in this universe. I don't remember, but and Cleo being Cleo decided to go over the top to get more followers than her, which is something G1 Cleo would so do.
Absolutely.
So I was like, so that made me remind me of G1 Cleo. But yeah. But we are still pretty early in the series, so more characters might get their time in the spotlight. We'll just have to wait because we are still very early in the series.
Right, exactly.
And we don't know how long it's gonna last. But one thing I also like is that it has this overarching arc.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we were talking about Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, I said why it's one of my favorite adaptations is because it has this overarching arc over the entire series,
Mm-hmm.
And so does this series because the entire thing is them trying to find Claudine's mom because she was kind of, I don't know if she was kidnapped or what exactly happened. They haven't really gone into it that much, but I know that when Claude was introduced, they were trying to find her, and they did this whole thing where they opened this like hole or portal to somewhere else, but they couldn't get her out, but Claude jumped out, and then but then it closed, and right now they can't open it again, so her mom's still trapped in what I only watched it once. I'm gonna have to rewatch it, and I think they're not really too clear on the details yet because it is an overall storyline, so they'll get more into it later on, I'm sure. But yeah, so there's like this whole storyline that overarches the entire series, which I really like as well. Because the webisodes had these mini storylines, but they only lasted a season at most. And in the movies, each movie was very different from the last, and it's not like they never had this overarching story. And I really like that the series so far seems to be heading that direction. So everything's connected more so,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So yeah, I like that. I am really enjoying the series so far. And Twyla is supposed to be getting introduced soon.
Oh, cool.
Gil is supposed to be introduced soon.
Nice. I'm so curious to see what they do with those two characters.
Yes, I've seen pictures for the promo of the Twilight episode. The description is that the ghouls decide to camp out at the library. Why, I do not know, but then they meet like the shadow or whatever, which is obviously going to be Twyla. So I'm very curious because I'm very excited because, like I said, Twyla is my second all-time favorite Monster High character. So I just hope they do her justice.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
With the whole Abby thing, I love her body type more because she is more realistic. She is like Draculaura and Cleo. They're more realistic body types. They're not necessarily skinny, and I love that because we don't get that much in cartoons. But I also don't like her personality as much, and it's not because the personality is bad. It's just because whenever I think Abby, I think of that blunt, says what she means, doesn't give a crap about anything persona. But the Abby that we saw in this one episode, I've only seen this one episode because this last episode I was able to watch before we lost Hulu for now. But she was so much more shy and reserved, and I'm like, I'm not sure how I feel about this yet, but I do understand that it is a reboot, so obviously every character is different than G1. So if more of her, I might like this version of her, but I know for a fact I will always prefer G1 Abby. But I do like I said, I do like that it looks like they might be making Abby and Heath canon. So I will scream when that happens. But yeah, but I might end up liking this version of Abby. Like I said, I do prefer her style, her body type or whatever, more this round. And I might like what they do with her character, but I just know for a fact that I'll never like her like I like G1 Abby because G1 Abby is just so iconic.
Yeah.
But I really don't know what they're doing with Twilight yet. I don't know if the episode has come out yet or what, but I just hope they do her justice. Like, I hope that they at least keep the part of her that made her one of my favorites in the original, which is the fact that because she wasn't really in the original that much, so it's kind of weird that she is my second favorite. But I guess what we did get of her was just so iconic that I had to love her. But I really hope they keep that part of her where it's like she just doesn't care what anybody thinks about her. Like, that's what I want. I want her to keep that part at least. They could change her however else they want, because I feel like we didn't actually, considering she's my second favorite character, I don't think we actually got into her that much, you know? So she was in her 13 Wishes. She was in quite a bit, obviously. Then she was in some of Fright's Camera Action because of the storyline at school when, they were trying to figure out about the actors and which one's cuter and all that. And she kind of became the judge of Cute Court. That was her storyline. But then she was also in Haunted quite a bit.
Yes, Haunted, she did have a role in. So yes, like she was in the movies quite a bit, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I just hope they
keep her character. Yeah.
But I'm excited for her debut episode. Like right now, my two favorite episodes of the series is I think it's the second episode when Draculaura does witchcraft, and then that's when Claudine and Frankie find out about it. And then there's that whole storyline because she kind of accidentally does something which she has to try to undo before she gets caught. It's actually hilarious. I don't really want to spoil you with anything.
Yeah, I do. I am gonna watch the episodes when I can. But...
So I'm trying not to spoil too much. Just basically the basic plot of the episode. And that's all. Like, I don't want to give you too many details because I don't want to ruin your experience when you finally watch it. And then the episode of Draculaura and Laguna that made me ship them in the first place. So those are my favorites so far. But I hope Twyla's episode will become one of my favorites because of my love for Generation 1 Twyla. So we shall see. But yeah, I was actually introduced to Monster High pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember like what age I was. I just know I was in elementary school and I was hanging out with a friend I had back then, and she had Monster High on her TV. And which one was it? I actually think it was the first one, Fright On. I might be wrong, but I think it was Fright On. And I wasn't a huge fan of the animation, but luckily that's the only movie that had the animation in, besides the webisodes.
Oh yeah.
But I really liked the storyline and the characters from what I saw, and then I kind of became obsessed with it, and that's how my siblings and mom all found out about it because I would not stop talking about it, and that's when the start of the conversation started. Getting that poster is when it's restarted. But yeah, so I love. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say I looked up the year it first started. It was 2010 at Monster High.
Yeah, I would have been about 10. So.
I gotta do math. So that's 13 years ago. 15, I think I was. So yeah, that makes sense to me. I knew I was in high school.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was born in 1999, but I was born like a month before 2000 because I was born.
Oh wow! So right at the edge, right at the cusp.
Yeah, I was born like
you
at the beginning of December.
1 month of your life in the 90s,
right?
And then it was the turn of the century,
right? And then so because of that, like with the year, I was. Like if it's 2015, I turned 15 a month before it, and then I would turn 16 a month before 2016, and all like that. So it was almost like a 2000 baby, where my age was like that for most of the year, except for like the very end, the last month.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty cool, actually.
So yeah, so I would have been 10 when the Monster High really became a thing. So
yeah,
so
that's like the perfect age for it too, to be honest.
True. Yeah, and I knew I was in elementary school, so that makes sense. So yeah, I was probably 10 or 11. I don't remember if I got into it as soon as it came out, because I know I hadn't heard about it until I was at my friend's and she had it on. So I don't remember exactly how old I was, but I don't think I was a teenager yet. So I'll say about 10, 11, 12 at the latest.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what the series is going to do with these characters, the ones we've already been introduced to and the ones we haven't, and how the storylines are going to play out. Like, there's so many things I'm very looking forward to, like the whole Claudine arc, and then I want to see if people find out about Draculaura being a witch, and if it's going to have a bigger repercussion than it did in the movie, because everyone kind of just accepted it in the end. But I also understand that it is movies have a lot shorter runtime, so I can kind of forgive it for that.
Yeah.
So I kind of hope the series will make it so she has bigger repercussions and it becomes this whole forbidden thing that she has to fight for her magic. But who knows what they're going to end up doing. I just kind of hope that's the direction it takes. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, and I don't think Frankie actually has an overall storyline so far. Like, they just have mini storylines as of right now, but I hope they get a bigger storyline.
Yeah, I feel like they're being sidelined a little bit by the movie and the show, which is kind of sad because they were always like a very important core character.
Well, I mean, with the series, that everyone is getting their own kind of like there's obviously the overall storylines, but the like filler episodes, everyone gets their own time to shine here and there with an episode. Like Draculaura's had a couple, Frankie's had a couple, Claudine's had a couple, Cleo, Laguna, Abby when she was introduced, the one Twyla gets introduced is probably going to be kind of her episode. So yeah, they're all getting their episodes. I just hope that since Frankie is one of the main characters, since it is kind of about this trio, that they get this overall storyline. And I also feel like they didn't have that much of an overall storyline in the movies either, because Draculaura had her being a witch, and then Claudine had being half human. But if they do go the route that I think they're trying to go through with it, which is a trilogy, then the movie 3 is probably going to be about Frankie, and they'll finally get their time to shine. And I wonder what that storyline is going to be.
Yeah.
Which we'll probably get like a cliffhanger ending, like we did in the first one, where you could see where someone's after Dracula.
Oh, yeah.
So we're probably going to get that for the movie 2. And it'll probably be Frankie at the center for that one.
And maybe even the second movie might give us a little more Frankie character development too.
Yeah, or a hint about what because movie 1 obviously was mostly about Claudine, but there was also that Draculaura storyline with her and witchcraft, which leads into movie 2. So movie 2 is probably going to mostly be about Draculaura, but then have Frankie have their own storyline that leads into movie 3.
Yeah.
That would be the smart thing to do. Let's see if that's what they end up doing. But apparently they're done filming movie 2 already. They've been at it.
That makes sense that they kind of filmed them back to back.
Yeah, and yeah, but they I don't think movie 2 is gonna come out until October, sadly.
Yeah, I figured they'll probably, and then the third one will probably come out the following year in October. So gotta get Paramount again, I guess, when the next one comes out.
Right. It would be nice if Paramount Plus had like that whole like thing that Netflix and Disney Plus have, where it's like a watch party that we could all watch together.
Yeah, that
Or
would
like
be
the Monster High
really
Readathon.
Yeah.
Oh well, we could always have like at the one of our live shows where we do the reading sprints and talk about it if we all ended up seeing it.
Yeah, we could do like a live discussion of it post watching the movie.
Yeah, that would be fun because I'm very excited for it, especially since it's featuring Draculaura.
Yeah, your favorite.
Yeah. I wonder who else they're gonna end up introducing in G3.
Well, I hope Laguna gets a little bit more of a part in the next movie because she like had no lines. I mean, did she even have any lines?
Yeah, she did. She had the only line I can actually think of off the top of my head is the one in the middle of the first song when her and Cleo see each other and they're like greet each other, and then Laguna mentions about seeing Deuce, and Cleo's like, we broke up over the summer, and she's like, oh, do you want me to eat him?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, like I'm like, who is this version of Laguna? Like, I don't understand what her character is right now. So
True.
I hope she gets to be a bit more in the next one, and then Abby, of course, because she was like mostly in the background of the first movie.
Yeah. But we do.
When Deuce is talking to Claudine for the first time, Laguna says to Cleo, "He is still so much into you."
Oh right.
Oh, okay, yeah. So like all her lines are like
about Cleo and Deuce.
About Deuce, yeah. So like, yeah, again, like that doesn't tell us anything about her character at all, you know?
Yeah.
So I was kind of disappointed by
but
that.
we do get a little more into her character in the series, and like I said, even though they don't really go together, they are still in the same universe. So it's the same Laguna, just in a different storyline, you know. Mm-hmm. So there's that. And I'm trying to think about the episodes that kind of featured her. She's kind of supposed to be the most feared monster, but she's also super friendly. Like, but she doesn't really show it that much. She's like nice, but she's supposed to be the most feared monster at the same time.
I don't know if I like that combo. It's so different from like Gen 1 Laguna. I don't know.
You have to kind of separate them, honestly.
Yeah.
But I am liking Laguna's character. I was very like hard against Laguna when I first saw the character designs because I was like, that's not Laguna. Like, she looked like a preppy girl, and she was not. She was the sporty girl.
Yeah.
But I am liking this version of her. And I'm liking that, like I said, she is kind of the most feared monster, but she's also nice whenever it's not like she's mean. It's like she's feared, but she's not. It's kind of hard to explain. You'll have to watch the episodes to understand. Yeah. But like I said, I really like the connect Laura have. I feel like they have a lot of chemistry. Plus, there was the episode that was about the two of them, and their relationship, because they weren't really friends until that episode, and it was kind of this. Like I said, I don't want to spoil anything for you. I don't know if you care about spoilers, but I also want you to enjoy the show. I don't want to spoil too much, but I'll just say that they were kind of, without spoiling actually what happens, I'll just say that they were kind of at odds, and it's because of Toralei why they were at odds.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of makes havoc. Like, that's a very Toralei thing to do.
That's Toralei's character, yeah.
They end up bonding and going and working together to go against Toralei, and it has some really, really sweet moments. And there's this one line that Draculaura says that's like what you were saying about Claudine being bisexual because you kind of both worlds, you know? And it's like this one line feels like it's something that someone can say that is like in the closet about being a lesbian.
Yeah.
Like she said how she wants to. I don't remember the exact line, but she basically saying like how there's nothing wrong with it or something, but I want to tell the world on my terms.
Yeah.
And it was just, I don't remember how she phrased it, but it was just really beautiful line as she was saying it to Laguna, and it was so amazing, and it just could have referenced her being a closeted lesbian.
Yeah, it does sound exactly like that.
So I am hoping they make
That's
Dracula
really
Laguna
cool.
canon.
That would be really cool, yeah.
And I know I saw this thing. I think it's for an episode that just came out, but I follow a lot of like Monster High fans on one of my Twitter accounts, and it's like they were showing like pics of a new episode or something that I haven't seen yet, and I don't know what they were doing, but Laguna's like, I picked Dracula, and she kind of picks her up and hugs her. I'm like, oh, I want to see that scene now. I'm shipping them hardcore.
Yeah, I can kind of see why now.
Wait till you actually see these scenes in context and see the other scenes. I think you would ship them too. Just go into it knowing that they have like these intimate scenes, and then you'll be able to see it in that way. And I think you ship them too. Yeah, they're cute. But yeah, there hasn't really been any Cleo and Deuce scenes.
Yeah.
But Deuce has kind of been sidelined in the show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. There was definitely one episode at least that he had a big part in. That was his episode. And I know he had a few moments in other episodes, but I think that's his only episode where it was his episode.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I saw someone say, and I didn't think about this until I saw someone say it, but they were saying how they hope that Draculaura and Deuce can form this friendship because they both can bond over the fact that they have these really famous parents that put so much pressure on them on how they're supposed to act. And it's like, because that episode that featured Deuce was about that. And then the episode with Draculaura and her powers, in episode 2, I think it was, had a lot to do with her fear of her dad and the pressure he puts on her. So I feel like they could bond over the fact that they have these really famous parents that just put way too much pressure on who they should be instead of who they really are.
Yeah, that would be really cool. And then we haven't, like, the original series, Draculaura and Deuce never really interacted. Yeah. So it's kind of cool to, like, finally see them become friends in this one.
Yeah.
And then also to have that connection, too.
And I feel like they always had, they that's a route that G1 could have took, you know, because I mean, yeah, there's some monsters that have these famous parents, but first of all, we don't hear about them that much, and second off, they don't seem like the type of parents that would pressure their kids, like Frankie's parents, Frankenstein, you know.
Yeah,
he doesn't seem like someone who would pressure Frankie, and from what we see, she never, look like getting pressured about anything, you know.
Right.
So there's that, and I feel like Dracula and Medusa are the most famous.
Yeah,
would be the ones that, and they all, and in all the legends, they're always kind of also not that great people. Yeah. So I feel like they are the two that would pressure their kids to be someone they're not. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's something we never really got to experience in G1, which is something I'm glad we're seeing a little bit of in G3. I just hope they turn it so that Draculaura and Deuce can rely on each other, since they're the only ones that would understand. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a nice route. I just hope they go that way. But who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. And it also depends on how long this series goes on, if they get renewed or, it just depends. I hope they get renewed. I'm really enjoying the series.
Yeah, it sounds like they're doing a really good job with it, too. Yeah.
I hope you can see it soon. The problem is that live TV is very expensive.
Oh, it's so ridiculous. But yeah, I'll see it eventually, I'm sure.
But live TV has this weird thing where after you get live TV, you have to put in your address so that anyone else who tries to log in can only do it if the location on their device is
Oh,
at your house. So only people at your house can watch it.
okay, yeah, my Hulu account is through my sister who doesn't live in the same state as me, so so yeah, I would have to get it myself. But yeah,
Hopefully they'll like show it somewhere else eventually.
that's
I
what
don't
I'm
think
hoping.
Hulu
Maybe when the season is over, maybe another streaming service will pick it up to put the episodes on. But yeah, see.
Or maybe after the season over, they'll take it off live TV because I mean, isn't the live TV mostly for like things that are going on right now? Or
Yeah.
So yeah, so maybe that's why it's on live TV because it's currently airing. So maybe after the season's over, you'll be able to watch season 1 and just not season
Right.
2 until season 2 is over. But I'm not
Yeah.
sure. We'll have to wait and see.
That's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I hope you can see it. And when you do finally get to watch it, then let me know because I want to know your thoughts.
For sure, yeah. I'll definitely mention it in the Discord group we got.
You look tired.
I am, yeah. Yeah. I'm probably gonna wrap this up because I gotta clean up all the pots and pans from my lunch, and then I got something going at 6, so it's kind of just a busy day for me. So
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that Claire couldn't make it. I don't know what happened, but maybe we can do another one some other time with Claire, because
I'm always
there's
up for
probably
talking about
so
Monster
much
High.
more that we can discuss about Monster High. So
Yeah. Definitely. And we didn't even get to talk about friendships, one of my favorite topics.
well, what? Sorry, you broke up.
Oh, sorry. Friendships, which is one of my favorite topics.
Oh yeah, yeah. We can probably start with that topic next time. We talked mostly about the romantic ships. So
Characters and ships.
yeah,
And I want to talk about friendships because there's some really great ones in G1 and G3. So I want to talk about that because, as you know, friendship is one of my favorite topics in a lot of media and books and stuff.
Cool.
So yeah, this was fun. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, I had a great time. I'm glad your mom joined us too for a little bit. That was really fun. Yeah, it's been good.
You than me.
Yeah, that's true. I'd rather be talking to Brenda right now.
Y'all are rude.
But yeah, it was fun to revisit my passion for Monster High.
Did you hear her?
I heard my name. What did she say?
She said, "Love you, Robin."
Oh, I love you too, Brenda.
She said she loves me too. Wow, I'm just being betrayed left and right over here.
Yeah, you're not wanted anymore. Just get out of here. Yeah.
Rude. I regretted asking you to join me.
Yeah.
Well, this was a lot of fun. I cannot wait to do this next time because there's so much Monster High lore that we couldn't even get into this one in G1 and G3. So I'm very looking forward to that. So yeah.
And make sure you subscribe to Joe Hari's channel for more Monster High content. She's doing so much of it on this one. So
yes, I do. I love Monster High.
Yeah.
So until next time, we will talk later, Robin, and thank you all for coming. And we'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.